Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am back. I am your momentary host, Dan O'Damas, and I am here, now that I have the correct address, and to foretell the future. I have spent much time looking into the deep waters of the future. I have spent much time debating the fate of the Detroit Lions. And let me tell you, it's going to be an epic day. If you're a Lions fan tomorrow, you're probably going to want to run out to your local Myers and buy some gear. I hear there's great, phenomenal deals on T-shirts right now. But anyways, getting back to the game, the Detroit Lions will see the return of the passing attack. Jared, the crazy legs Goff, will run for over 11 yards. That's right. It'll all be on one play, by the way. Anyways, he'll have over 11 yards rushing. He will throw for an inconceivable 300-plus yards passing. And yes, you'll see the Lions' vaulted passing attack pass all over the less-than-giant people from New York, and they will record a most impressive 33-17 victory. Mark it down. I already know it, Danae. I've already placed my bets at your local betting agencies. Anyways, getting back to that. Aiden Hutchinson will have 2 sacks. Aleem the Dream McNeil will have a sack. And you know what? It's going to be pick-a-palooza because the Detroit Lions defense is going to record 1, 2, 3 interceptions of Jameson Winston, who apparently is going to play Santa Claus, and he's just going to give everybody the ball. You get a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. The only problem is he's throwing to our team, which is expected. He's very gracious. He wants to make sure we're having a great day. So, hey, here's a football. Here's a football. And by the way, while he's throwing 3 interceptions, he's going to have 1, 2 fumbles that the Lions will recover. The Lions defense will record 5 turnovers en route to having a phenomenal performance. I also spent much time consulting the tea leaves of Mountain Dew, and I have found out deep insider information that, yes, the Lions will feature on 22% of all passing plays 2 running back sets. This is Dan O'Damas' bold predictions, his foretelling of the future, and I will once again be proven correct. Mwah! Well, greetings, salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I want to thank Dan O'Damas for actually making the show today. As you guys know, last week he was not able to make the drive on over to the appropriate location. And hey, we always appreciate his wise words of wisdom. All right, as you guys can probably tell from today's thumbnail, I've done at least a little Scooby-Dooing, coach mode, whatever you want to say. We get it. Sam LaPorta is going to be out for a while, potentially the entire rest of the regular season, postseason. We'll have to wait and see what reveals itself regarding that in time. As a coach, though, you can't just say, hey, we're just going to move on from here and just say, miss Sam LaPorta. You got to figure out what you can do to replicate Sam LaPorta and all he does out there for this team. You got to put the linebackers for the opposing team in a worse situation. Last week, at least from my standpoint, I think the Lions were kind of caught off guard that he was going to miss the game. Maybe they didn't have enough time to kind of Scooby-Doo X and O's how you're going to replicate him. This time, I do think you're going to see some stuff going forward, and we're going to dive into that during the main topic today. While losing Sam LaPorta is not ideal, I do think there's some things the Lions can do and probably will do. If I'm an idiot on YouTube, I got to imagine just about every coach out there is spending a whole lot of time this week for the Lions offense, coming up with ideas how to really use that to your advantage. And you can use it to your advantage. The fact that Sam's not out there, you're going to miss him for sure. but I think they've also started showing us some signs of things they're trying to work into the offense going forward. And I think the last few games have really tipped the hand towards that. All right, we'll get into that momentarily during the main top of the day. Most of you guys know, sorry, I still have been coaching all week, so my voice is going through some coaching adjustments as we get into the season, then, a little bit of a cold as well. So before we get into the 5 headlines now, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 47 subs away from hitting 15,700. If you can help out with that, I owe you one. Also, if you have half a second time, hit the thumbs up button, the like button, as we try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you are maybe considering, as we're getting closer and closer to the holiday season, gift ideas, maybe head over to Amazon.com or wherever you find great reading literature and order yourself a copy of Kajora Book. The next book comes out next month. This is the first in a 9-part series. Like I said, the second book releases next month. Head on over, check it out. If you like historically accurate fiction, so the people within it are maybe not 100% true, but the events within it were true or are true historically, go ahead and check it out. If you like anything with Native American culture, Japanese, Asian culture, I should say, to include China, go ahead and check it out. And if you like it, leave a kind review. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get this show rocking, rolling, going forward, and kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now. Lions announce injury news on veteran cornerback. That brings, quote, immediate boost. The heavy story by Nathan Doherty. You guys get it. Lions have had a whole lot of injuries. I mean, to be fair, like every NFL team. But Khalil Dorsey is going to be returning sooner versus later for this team. Why does that matter? Well, he gives the Lions a lot of speed, especially on inside routes. I mean, he's pretty shifty. It's no disrespect to any of the other cornerbacks on the team. I think we got some really good cornerbacks, especially when it comes to a depth standpoint. But Dorsey would add to that depth. You guys also know he's somewhat involved in special teams, so you're going to improve the special teams, which I think is probably the biggest thing with him, Malcolm Rodriguez, and some of the other guys returning. That special team should start getting up in a way better. That means you know that the Lions defense has been playing pretty dang good this year. Now, if you get the special teams to play pretty dang good, that means 2 out of your 3 units are, well, pretty dang good. The Lions offense, man, it's been kind of hit or miss this year. There's been games they've looked lights out good like they have the last several years. Then there's been other games, maybe some growth is involved. Dorsey, though, I think will be a big boon to this team. Also means the Lions are going to probably have to cut somebody from the secondary. Who that will be, we'll wait and see in time. Dorsey, though, I think most Lions fans who remember him playing last year would agree. When he's out there, he's very shifty. He can stick with people, and maybe that's even what played a factor in his injury. Wait and see what shakes out, but I do like the fact he's going to return, again, not just for the defense, but more importantly for the special teams as well, at least in my opinion. All right, next one we've got here. I'm going to have to load it for you real quick, so if you give me just a hot second, it's actually a video for you. And oops, that's not the right button. We're going to have, let's see, a screen share here, and hopefully I don't mess this up. Talking about stopping the tush push with Aleem the Dream McNeil. Let's go ahead and get into that.
Kind of get better and acclimate more and more. He's gotten a lot better. He's starting to mature. Not that he wasn't mature, but he's just maturing football-wise. He's just seeing a lot of different things. He's got experience out there now. So he's got a couple games on his belt. And Tyleek was already a smart player, especially coming where he came from. So he's just doing a lot of things better now. He's playing blocks. He's seeing things differently. So it's been good. It's getting a lot better.
All right, we'll go ahead and take that up. I got to kill that one there. All right, so you guys aren't listening to it. But I think why I brought this one up is talking to Aleem McNeil. We already mentioned this kind of the other day. He's going to start playing some big defensive end for the team. How much, I don't know, but if it was up to me to guess it, probably 25 to 35% of games, you're going to see McNeil move out there. Why is that important? Because you look at Tyleek Williams. We get for a little while when Aleem came back, Tyleek Williams' snap count went down, and then last week it went way, way up. The Lions, we talk about this all the time. They've got a great defense here, and part of the greatness of the defense is the flexibility of that front seven. We spent all offseason, all, free agency, all the draft, and to be fair, leading up to the trade deadline, why don't the Lions go after another pass rusher? Why don't they get this and that in? I think a lot of it is just schematics and designs. The fact that they have, a lot of times, they're flexing Derek Barnes to the end on obvious passing downs, taking out, either Lacey, Lee McNeil, whoever they're putting over there. I think that's part of the reason. I also think on first and second down or short yardage situations, you're going to see more and more of this where Tyleek and DJ Reader are inside and then McNeil goes outside. On short yardage situations, that's the stuff to run, because you look at the Lions with that defensive front and those linebackers, it's pretty dang tough to run on them. They just don't give you much. And as Lee McNeil was pointing out in the video, you look at what Williams is doing, he's growing and developing. There's a big percentage of the Lions fan base that, want to be, I get it, revisionist, what do you want to say, general managers. We should have taken this guy or that guy with the 28th pick. You can have your opinion. Here's what I think. The Lions did a solid job bolstering that defensive line, not just for the now, but for the future. And I think a big portion of that and why this defense is so good is that defensive front line. Let me know your thoughts, though. Should they have done something else at number 28? What do you think about McNeil playing defensive end? I mean, it's, I guess, a clear conversation piece to be had this time of year. All right, Jared Goff downplays big Lions Week 11 problem before Giants matchup. The heavy story by Dave Holcomb. Where to go with this one? Well, you guys all get it. Jared Goff has taken some hits this year. Jared Goff has not had the same amount of time to pass the ball that he has had the last couple years. What are they going to do against the Giants? The Giants are pretty dang good at getting to the quarterback. You can say what you want about their rush defense. You can say what you want about them losing 50,000 games in a row. I mean, they were on a bit of a losing streak. But you know what? Their ability to get to the quarterback has not been in question. So here's what I would say. If you're Jared Goff and your Lions, you understand if you want to win this game and going forward in the rest of the schedule, you've got to pass block better. Goff talked to reporters about it. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league statistically. Whether or not he's going to be in the MVP conversation, probably not, but we'll see what shakes out going down the stretch. We also understand that if the Giants have any kind of chance to win this game, they probably got to get to the quarterback. Something they did last week, they've done throughout the season. You guys know as well as I do, they've actually been in a lot of games. They've just blown a lot of games, especially in the fourth quarter. Goff talked to reporters about the Lions' protection, thinks that it's not a problem. Quote, no, not at all. He's not worried about the getting hit or the offensive line. Goff told Pro Football Talks Michael Davis Smith when asked if he needed to change something because of the Philadelphia knockdowns and the amount of pressure he faced. Going still with Goff, quote, they did a good job. Whatever it was, they did a good job. Tip your cap to the Philadelphia Eagles. I trust our offensive line. I trust our coordinators. It was just a bad game. What do you guys think about it, though, with the offensive line, the amount of pressures that Goff received? And to be fair, it wasn't just that game. It's been about the last month and a half. As far as pass protection and deflections, Goff thinks, hey, quote, it happens. They had a game plan. Maybe there was something I tipped off to him in regards to the deflections, but we've addressed the situation and we're going to move forward. So Goff has a lot of faith that whatever Philadelphia saw, maybe they saw something, it's been addressed, and going forward, what I will be paying attention to in tomorrow night's game, and I'm sure most of you guys will too, is does this replicate once again? Do the Giants come in, try to deflect passes, and are they going to get that amount of pressure on Goff? If this happens again, now you got a trend, and there's clearly something teams are picking up on. I think the Lions coaching staff is pretty dang smart. I think Goff is pretty smart. He's also 6'4", so should it happen that often or his passes get deflected, maybe it was just the Philadelphia front line. I don't know, but we're going to find out come tomorrow if it happens again. If it happens again where they get to the quarterback that much, pressuring, and deflect passes that much, knocking him down, what are your guys' thoughts on what the Lions offensive line, coaching staff, and Jared Goff have to do to correct it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section if you would be so kind. All right, Lions offense can fix rushing woes against Giants defense. Detroit Lions on SI by Johnny Macaron. The rushing attack has been a little limited. Now, we all get it that maybe it was just the Philadelphia Eagles, defensive front, because it is a pretty dang good one. I don't think anybody's questioning that. But what do the Lions have to do? They face a intern coach who's trying to obviously prove himself to potential suitors if they want to, if he wants to get employed as a head coach somewhere, whether it be with the G-men in the offseason or somebody else. So he's going to try to roll the dice on probably everything he can to win a game, because we get it. Last week against Green Bay, they nearly did. They nearly pulled it off. If they could do it again this week against the Lions, that's probably going to be a big statement for him. But getting back to the headline, why the Giants struggle to hold leads this season? Number one, they struggle to maintain their defense. The Lions' rushing attack needs to come out and establish itself. And if you look at that Giants defensive front, I think it can. I think the Lions will be able to pound it. They will be able to set up play action. And if they don't, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to be positive Pete here and think that we can. When we do get the rushing attack going, that's going to fuel the passing attack, and you pay attention to their defensive tackles, their mobility on the outside. I think the Lions can do a lot of things schematically to get out there and block against it. I don't disagree with John Macarone on this one. I think even with Sam LaPorta out and some of the other injuries, I think the Lions offensive line is a little bit bigger, more physical overall, assuming everybody's healthy and plays. I get you've got 50,000 people listed once again as questionable for this game, but I'm going to guess that Taylor Decker is going to be good to go. I'm going to guess that Penei Sewell is going to be good to go. Same with Ratledge, same with Glasgow. If all of them are playing, I think the Lions have an advantage on the offensive line, and we haven't been able to say that much lately. If that holds true, then I do think they're going to be able to open up some rushing lanes for Dave Montgomery, for Gibbs, and I do think, as Dan O'Damas pointed out, I do think you're going to see more and more of the evolution in the offense to a two-back set. Now, that being said, we'll talk about this more in the main top of the day. You're probably going to want to pay attention to that. All right, Detroit versus New York Giants preview prediction on paper. SB Nation story by Jeremy Risman. There's a whole lot of stats that Jeremy Risman throws out in this story. I would highly encourage you, if you like analytics, if you like breaking down numbers, this is a good one, and he does a great job with it. I'm just going to power through some of them here. Lions pass offense is 9th versus the Giants defense, which is 20th. There's a lot of layers to this. Again, I know I've mentioned it before. They're pretty good at getting the quarterback. I don't think they're very good in coverage. They're not bad, especially if you can get pressure. But I do think the Lions, just from a skill standpoint, have a big advantage here. So if you can keep Goff upright and get any kind of running game, I think you're just going to really exacerbate this situation. I don't think Jameson Williams is going to have anybody on the other side that can keep up with him in man-to-man coverage. He should be able to get separation fairly frequently. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You go back and watch what the last few teams have done to try to slow down St. Brown. They are throwing more shell coverage his way. What's that mean? If they're in zone, they've got somebody high and low trying to sandwich him. If they're in man, they've got somebody taking away the underneath route and somebody spying over the top in a zone-like look. So more and more teams, probably with LaPorta out, are going to replicate that and say, hey, until we know Jameson Williams or somebody else can beat us, we're going to take away your best receiver, and that's going to be St. Brown. We'll have to see if the Giants continue that trend as well. All right, as far as let's look at the Lions offensive line. In fact, I've got some stats here for you guys. Oh, boy, just which one it is. Hey, your guys are going to have to give me a second. I thought I had this stuff loaded up here, so we might have to interrupt this one to give you some stuff. Jack Campbell, 0 missed tackles this year. Probably, I shouldn't say probably, is the best in the NFL. That one, sorry, I thought I had all this stuff loaded, and obviously it deloaded. Injury report, you wanted it? Well, there you guys go. Terry and Arnold out. Davenport out. Frazier out. Kirby Joseph, not a surprise, they're out. And Pascal out. Everybody else, once again, is injured. All right, moving on down the list here. I threw this one in here for you guys. Just say, hey, even though we're 6-4 right now, we all shouldn't look at it as the end of the season. But I'm bringing this up because the Texans are now 6-5 after starting the year 0-3, and they're doing this with 3-0 with their backup quarterback, Davis Mills, filling in for C.J. Stroud. So let that sink in. Lions are 6-4 right now. I do think they're going to rip off the next 3 games, and then we'll see if it ends up being 4. I'll let Dan O'Damas handle that one, but we win the next 3. You guys are all probably I get some people are less than happy about the way the season's going, but I do think that when we win those games, you're going to see a whole lot of people jump back on ship. All right, another one I had loaded for you guys. I had to reload here. from the Detroit Lions PR, the Lions have yet to allow a 300-yard passer or 100-yard rusher this season. Last time Detroit did not allow a 300-yard passer and 100-yard rusher through the first 10 games of any season was 1969, long time ago. So you guys probably get it in today's NFL, especially with all the rules. It just doesn't happen like that very often. All right, Lions defense coordinator Kevin Shepard says he loves it when the offense goes for it on fourth down aggression because it shows faith in the defense that they can put out fires no matter where the ball is. We did talk about that during the live cast, or if you guys remember a week ago. Did some of MCDC's aggression simply be a sign of faith in the Detroit Lions defense? I guess you could Scooby-Doo that however you want, but I don't know if I would have went for it on all those downs. The MCDC did, and maybe the Kelvin Shepard's right. Maybe it's just a sign that he has that much faith in the Detroit Lions defense. All right, funny stat here for you guys that I noticed while shifting through stuff, and I know they talked about this in the presser the other day with MCDC. Lions haven't had an opponent called for a defensive pass interference this year and only had one for 5 yards called last year. How is that possible? Now, I know MCDC said he was aware of it and just became aware of it, I should say, and said that maybe it was just because the Lions are that good. Maybe they're that strong at receiver, tight end, etc. But that's almost inexcusable with today's rules that somehow, unless we're just facing the 2000 Baltimore Ravens every week on defense, you go a year and a half in this league with only one PI call against you. Oof. Anybody who wants to wear the tinfoil and say the NFL's out against the Detroit Lions? Well, you got some more evidence. All right, getting to the stats I actually wanted for this story, and apologies for it. All right, so 24th, the Lions are 24th in PFF team pass blocking rate, which is just under 60, 26th in the ESPN pass block win rate, and then 21st in pressure rate allowed. And we get it. Lions have been allowing a lot of pressure. Those who are saying it's just Jared Goff, fire Goff, get rid of Goff, whatever. These stats are alarming for a lot of reasons. Now, some of it I get is last week really killed these numbers. But there have been other games like the Minnesota game where we can say what we want. You have a quarterback who's facing this much sack rate at 6% and all these other metrics, and I'm not going to walk through all of them again, but you guys get it. That's not ideal for any quarterback. I don't care who you are at quarterback. That's going to impact your passing. All right, I already got that one, so sorry about that. I typed it in twice, and I think I have one more for you guys. I was trying to give you guys a bunch of different stuff today. All right, well, maybe I don't have anything more, so apologies for that. All right, we'll get out of this one into the main topic today. Be interested to see what you guys have to hear me say about the offense, and then, of course, obviously, your guys' response to it. I think if I'm the Detroit Lions, MCDC, you can't replicate Sam LaPorta, but you can try to replicate him in the aggregate. I've got something for you. Let's see what you have to say. All right, if you're MCDC, John Morton, whatever, what are you doing to take some of the heat off of Jared Goff? What are you doing to put more fear into the opposing defense? You've got to do something because you can see teams are trying to tee off on some of our routes, like we already mentioned with St. Brown. They're trying to more or less double team him and force the ball to go somewhere else. If you go back to the main thumbnail for today's show, I showed Gibbs, Tesla, and then Jameson Williams out there. Why does that matter? I get Tesla and Meeks amongst other people are going to be mostly used as a pseudo tight end. I want you to think run and shoot days because the Lions did, even when they ran the run and shoot, they did have some bigger receivers at times that basically acted as a tight end. Me trying to come up with ideas here. We've also mentioned this show multiple times. Dan O'Damas, I think, even said he was thinking the Lions were going to improve the two-back usage to 25 to 35% of the time. Why would you do that? Well, Gibbs can basically be a receiver. And if you start with both those guys in the backfield, Montgomery and Gibbs, guess what? You're either bringing a safety into coverage down to the line of the scrimmage to help defend the run in case one of those guys gets it, or a linebacker. If it's a linebacker or even most NFL safeties, if they're not named Brian Branch, I guess, or maybe Kyle Hamilton, you're probably flexing Gibbs out to a receiver spot, and now you've got a one-on-one matchup with that linebacker or safety against Gibbs. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How many of those guys do you think are keeping up on the regular in any kind of crossing route, deep shot route, fly pattern, in route, etc., comeback route against Gibbs? I can't think of many that could do it effectively. Maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 downs could they do it, but if you're only winning 10 or 20% of the time, that's not winning, that's losing. The other part that I want to throw at you, because I know a lot of you guys have been mentioning it, what about Tesla? What about Meeks? In my opinion, the Lions have an ideal setup there where you could use some spread offenses, put 3 receivers on one side, one of them being your pseudo tight end with Meeks or Tesla, and run some go routes, some shallow crossers, or just short crossers. So why does that matter? Go routes, take the safety out of the play. In routes, deep in routes, take the safety and force a middle linebacker to drop, since most of the teams we're going to face going forward, from what I'm watching, and I haven't studied every team out there, I don't have that kind of free time, are going to have to drop a middle linebacker in there. Why does that matter? It's one less person who can blitz the quarterback, and you're going to reveal their coverages a little bit more. I get I'm going into X and O's talk. I don't really like doing that on the show because I don't have a way to kind of show it visually, but with trips formations like this, I do think it would open up a lot of things for Lions. You also move some of those backers away from the, if they're going to play with 2 or 3 linebackers, you move them away from the line of scrimmage, which opens up the running game a little bit more just because you're spreading out the opposing defense. At the end of the day, in my opinion as a coach, you have to make choices. Do you want to play to your strengths, the other teams, or do you want to play to your strengths, your own personal strengths? If I'm looking at the Lions offense right now, as hard as it would have been to go into the season and say this, it's the weakness of the team right now. The defense is clearly firing on all cylinders. I do think with a lot of the guys coming back, you're going to see the special teams really shoot up in the performance. And they did have a pretty good performance last week. I'm not taking anything away from them. But you guys understand this year, it's really been the defense carrying us for the most part, and some down performances, especially in our 4 losses from the offense and the special teams. Assuming they're all right, that getting Khalil Dorsey back, Cunningham back, Rodrigo back is a big boon to the special teams, and I do think it will be. I think you'll see the Lions special teams maybe not elite, but very good. Now you got 2 of your 3 firing on all cylinders. What do you have to do to get the offense back and firing on all cylinders? These are some of the ideas I came up with. It'll be interesting to see what your guys' thoughts are on it, but I think the Lions have a lot of skill positions and a lot of speeds. I'm going to throw one out at you just for the sake of discussion. Let's say you go 2 running back sets with Montgomery and Gibbs. Now you flex out to one side, a strong side, with Jameson Williams, Gibbs, and Tesla in your trips overload formations. If you have somebody basically just run in front of the line of scrimmage, on the snap, who's covering that guy one-on-one without some help? And why am I going with this? Let's just say it's Gibbs running a shallow crosser. How many linebackers have to help that dude out covering him? You're probably drawing 1 or 2 people to stop that. Otherwise, it might as well be a handoff with a free run against probably a cornerback or somebody else in the first couple yards. You can get 5-8 yards in a hurry, and if somebody misses a tackle, they're taking it a longer way down the field. Why does it matter with Jameson Williams? Well, if he's that guy running the deep end, or post pattern, whatever you want to call some of this, terminology. Woo! If you're playing zone coverage, you're drawing those safeties down deep and probably the middle linebacker down deep. That's 2 or 3 guys out of it. Now you got Tesla if you're working the sideline. How many guys are left to cover him? And he has size. We all seen the one-handed catches, the spectacular catches in training camp, preseason, and in the regular season. So what do? Cause matchup problems. John Morton, I've talked about it. I know you guys probably had it from about 40 billion other content creators or article writers, whatever you want to say. John Morton was pretty predictable. Now, you can probably look back at the Philadelphia game and say, hey, he played with 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends to try to buy more time for the passing attack, open up more running games, etc. My problem with that is, yes, maybe Goff takes less hits, but how many people are now at that line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively? You're not putting any pressure, in my opinion, on the defense unless you're just going to go all, blocking out everybody in and just trying to throw some deep shots to St. Brown or Jameson Williams. And I just think the likelihood of that stuff working, over and over again consistently isn't high unless everybody's going to play just, one-on-one coverage and you're expecting those guys to win, 60, 70% of the time. My opinion, try to spend some time, give you guys some different stuff here, not stuff you're going to see on every other channel. So I try to break it down. Am I completely crazy with this? Well, if you're like most of my coaching friends, you probably think I am completely crazy. They tell me that all the time. But I'm going to try to stress those defenses the entire rest of the season. I'm going to say, hey, we're going to play cojones to the wall, and we're either going to win this play or we're going to lose this play. But I'm going to do everything I can to roast that defense and make sure they have to use coverages they don't typically run and take personnel off the field. Maybe they don't want to. Looking at the rest of the schedule, I do think this would highly exacerbate the strengths of the New York Giants and basically put them in a no-win situation. Green Bay, we get it. Their strength is that front four. You know what? Get them. If that's what they have, I'm going to put faith in my guys to win more often than not and get rid of the ball quickly in these situations. Green Bay Packers offense has been struggling all year. I'm not telling you guys stuff you don't know. So you know what? Stress that D, stress that secondary. They do not, in my opinion, I wish Kurt Steele or maybe Ant-Man or somebody else was here right now. I don't think the Packers secondary and linebackers are great this year. I do like the linebackers better than their secondary, but I don't think their linebackers are very athletic. So what do you want to, their secondary is very athletic. So I want to make sure they have to use more of that secondary that isn't very athletic. Goff might take some hits, but you know what? You're going to get a whole lot of wins and scoring points. You guys already know I give Dallas a lot of credit for trading Micah Parsons. I think ultimately for them, it was probably the right move. I do think their front four has gotten much better. I don't think their defense is great. Sort of like Green Bay, I don't think they're great in the secondary. I don't think they have great athleticism. I want to make sure they have to use more of that weakness. Sort of like the Green Bay, I just don't see them being able to play us a whole lot of man-to-man coverage. They just don't have the athletes. Because of that, I want to make sure they have to use more of those not athletic athletes. And, just trusting that offensive line. You can use some chip blocks from some of the guys already mentioned before they release on patterns. I think you can roast both those defenses, in my opinion, if you do stuff like this. Again, you have to be willing to allow Goff to take some hits, but he's going to have some nice one-on-one matchups and be able to take advantage of it. The Rams are the tricky one because I think they've got a whole lot of athletes, and whatever you're going to do to them, they're going to have athletes on the field. I give a lot of respect to their scouting department, the front office. You guys all know they said skip the picks, but they hit on a lot of these late round picks, and because of that, they've got some dudes out there. Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm just going to say same comments I had for New York Giants, Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. To me, their defense looks slow, especially that secondary. I get they rolled the dice on trying to sign Jalen Ramsey and 50 other guys for that secondary. Jalen Ramsey isn't the Jalen Ramsey we all remember like 3, 4, 5 years ago. He's pretty slow. They have to play a ton of zone coverage, and I don't care if they're playing man or zone. They're not good at it. And I've watched enough of them to at least say I feel comfortable with my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm an expert. I'm just giving you my opinion, of course. Now revisit what we did against the Vikings. The Vikings game, should we have lost it? Absolutely not. But we already talked about the special teams, especially by this point, assuming there aren't a bunch of other injuries, should be back to maybe not elite, but very good. The defense for the Vikings, they are not fast. And going into that game, I really thought John Morton would spread the ball around, put them in no-win situations. You want to blitz, you're going to leave everybody on the island, and I have enough faith in St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Gibbs, whoever's out there to win those one-on-one matchups. So as long as you can do that and run some shallow crossers, the one thing I would say to MCDC and John Morton is you have to understand your offensive line isn't the line of the last few years. You are going to have to run some shorter, intermediate routes that are 1, 2, 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. So yes, it's more or less a handoff, but you've got the athletes in that zone coverage. If they catch it in any kind of space, they can turn a 1 to 3 yard gain or catch, I should say, into a 5, 7, 10 yard gain. And that's where I think I'm expecting at least them to make on a defensive adjustment. Then you go to the last game of the season. Yes, the weather is going to play a factor in everything I just mentioned, but you know what the Bears no longer have? They no longer have a lot of athletes on that defense. Sort of like the vast majority of these teams I'm mentioning, they're not that athletic. And they are an offense. I'll give the Bears a lot of credit there. But what do you have to do as a coach? Play to your team's strengths, not the opposing team's strengths. This is what I would do. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Again, I try to come up with something a little different for you guys. I'm a risk taker. Maybe not going for it on fourth down every time, but you know what I do as a coach? I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you've got to use personnel you don't want to use defenses you don't use that often, so you're less accustomed to them, higher chance for failure, and just, hey, these are the strengths of our team. We're going to roll them out there. Are you big enough to stop them? If not, we're saying scoreboard. All right. I powered through all that long enough. Kurt Steele, I wish you would have been out here today because that would have been a fun one to debate with you. All right, let me get to the top of the screen and go through the comment section. Michael, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Back at you, Bo Booth. Good morning, Duke Crew. We could say all these remaining teams are quacks. Exclamation point. Woo! I like the way you're thinking. Bo, all of our ducks lined up. I'll take them. Let's knock them down now. Drake, I'm feeling pretty good about tomorrow. Praying for LaPorta 100% to heal up fully. Maybe back for the playoffs. It's $1 million question. I can only tell you from what I was told. The evaluation was 4 to 12 weeks. So, and they did say, like we mentioned on the video, 4 weeks would be not realistic. So let's just say it's 7 weeks. 7 weeks would basically put you to the start of the playoffs. If it's 12 weeks, I mean, the Super Bowl's over at that point. So is it possible maybe he comes back for like the second round game or the NFC title game? It's possible. Whether or not you'd want him to risk it as being a back injury, I would just say, man, let him sit, let him rest. It's just backs aren't arms. They're not legs as far as like, last year with Aiden Hutchinson. I'm assuming that's where you're going with that. Everybody was talking about, maybe he'd be able to come back for the NFC title game or the Super Bowl. It's a lot different, a bone than, in a leg than a bone that's supporting your spine and a disc. I would just say, man, let him rest. Get him ready for next year. Trey, what do you got? What's good, everybody? Question mark. Giants have a pretty good front that can get after the quarterback. Burns seems to be back to his old self. Yeah, I give credit to their coaching staff. I really like a lot of the schematics they're using with that front seven. I'm not going to spend more time going over X and O's, but I think they shift things around pretty good to play to his strengths. Okay, good morning, Duker. One Pride. Dan Adamas, tell us how it is. Oh, yeah. Dan, did you give Dan Adamas the correct address this week? I did indeed. I double timed it, made sure. Jess, greetings, salutations, Duker. Hey, Coach, how did the first week of the season go? Wishing your team the best. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. We're day 3 in. We're going to get some more stuff in today. Like everybody, you're scrambling to put in X's and O's conditioning. You hit the weight room, get shots up, everything else. But, hey, I've been pretty happy with it. Trim Raber, good morning, Coach Dan and the world-renowned Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Back at you, Michael. Lions 35, Giants 17. I like the way you're thinking. Big Eddie, we are thinking Tesla gets more reps. I do think him and Meeks. Again, this is what I would do. I can't say I've heard from anybody in Detroit. I don't have that for you, but this is what I'm, based on what they've been shifting some stuff around the last couple of games. This is what I'm kind of deducing. I could be completely wrong. Morning Trim. Keep the trolls in line today. Let's see what they do. Dave, I'm calling a win tomorrow, and we finish with 11 for the regular season. In my opinion, we need 11 to get in. Yeah, I think if you get less than 11, it's probably going to be pretty dicey in the NFC. Big Eddie, I'm thinking they use Tesla a lot more. I think you're right. Jessica, good morning, everyone. Back at you. Mark, let's see, Sonic and Knuckles, 100-plus yards each. Run, baby, run. I like it. Run, baby, run. Rob, good morning, all. Exclamation point. Time to climb the beanstalk and squash all those Giants. Can I get a Sheila? Woo! You know what? Let's give you a Sheila Woo. 1, 2, 3. I just got to find it on my respective screen. And there you go, my friend. Just Mark, I can see that New York's run defense has been all that. No, it's a little suspect. I think they're going to have to sell out on the run to limit the Lions tomorrow. Morning, everyone. Back at you, Broski Bear. Who do you think is a better play caller, Morton or Dan Campbell? Broski, it's a fair question. Let's give MCDC another game or two. That way you got about 4. It's not quite the same as Morton's, but it's a deep enough dive where you can probably have some ideas. But let's give them another game or two. Rob, I don't think this game will be a blowout, but the Lions are definitely going to win 42-24. Hey, 42-24, that's a bit of a blowout to me, but I'll take it. I'll take it indeed. Look at you. Dan complained to YouTube for us. This new chat format stinks. Names have changed. It's irritating, kind of like the zebras are. Yeah, maybe somebody knows why they changed it. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know why they did it. Susan, I want to see us spread the other defenses out more like we did with Ben. I feel we've been very conservative. Definitely under John Morton. We'll see what the MCDC brings. Broski Barrett, Crazy Legs James versus Crazy Leg Goff. Yeah, I like Jameson Williams on a lot of stuff. I just think because he's a bit of a riverboat gambler, he gives the ball up a bit. Rob Hawk, I agree. Don't like the new format. Mark, who else will play tight end today? Meeks or Tesla? Tesla is faster and taller, but I think Meeks is a few pounds heavier. Whether or not they'll actually be tight ends or just be asked to kind of chip a little bit more, we'll have to see how they scheme it. Tori, I'd use Tesla, taller, could be. That's funny, broski, says Bo. Rob Hawk, Tesla would be a better fit. Patrick, what's the word on Green Bay and their injuries? Jacobs out for a while. I think he's playing this week, although I don't think it's going to be a ton. Pat Rock trying to not look ahead, but I am. Hey, I think we all are, man. We all are. Mary Smith, good Queen Mary, I should say. Good morning, Duke Crew. Happy Saturday. Hope all is well. Back at you, Steve Rogers. I like the fact that when we start the playoffs, we should have a lot of our injured players back. Yeah. Assuming there aren't other injuries, you are correct. Okay, Queen Mary is here. Bring some grit. Carrie, morning, Queen of Queens. There you go. Stephanie, what do you got? Good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Heading into the gym for training. Wishing everyone a great day. Exclamation point. Back at you. Drady, another win incoming tomorrow. This will be one of those Jared Goff clinics where everything is clicking. I like the way that you are foretelling the future. Michael, you too. Stephanie, Burr, well, at least the Bears had 1 week to see the first place feels since, first time since 2011. Let's hope we can see them fall out of first place. Sorry, Broski Bear. XIX, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. How you doing, Ben? Broski Bear, Patrick Jacobs is going to play this Sunday, but a limited role is what I'm hearing. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see indeed. Queen Mary, good morning, my handsome brothers and beautiful queens, and same to you. Dave, I hate and love how everyone is freaking out on the team after dropping 4 games. How much we've grown since MCDC has arrived. Yeah, that's a great point. Because, man, 5 years ago, we would have been all celebrating in the streets, partying like it's 1999, and 6-4 and a chance just to make the playoffs. Patrick, thanks, broski. Ted, I got lucky. My wife found tickets for this game Sunday. I haven't been to one since 2008. Looking forward to it. One pride. Let's go, Lions. Enjoy the game, my friend. Mary, Stephanie, have a great workout and be blessed. There you go. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Dooku, back at you. 5 fingers ready. Our offensive line needs to continue to grow. We do that, we're going to be just fine. Yeah, I think you're right. If the offensive line continues to gel, get better, get healthy, and perform better, you know what, this Lions team, it's probably one of the best ones in the NFC. Courtney, it's all good. Roots, rocks, reggae, positive vibrations. Yes, be positive, Pete, indeed. Same old soup. What up, though, Coach Dan and Duke Crew? What's new? Not too much. How about you? How's the soup? Mary Smith, one thing I would like to say, Lions Talk Live, keep Sam LaPorta in our prayers. There you go. And I think well said, man. It does sound like from all reports, including MCDC, he's expected to fully heal, not be a problem. But you know what? I got to get him healed. Dennis, amen. Hookadoo prayers. Jimmy, all right. Good morning, Dan and Duke. I haven't been on here this week because I've been very sick and was discharged from the hospital yesterday, so I don't know what's going on this week with Lions. Hey, we'll bring you up to speed. How you doing? Hopefully you're feeling much, much better. Let's see, Matt, what do you got there? Grit morning, Duke Crew. What it do? We'll find out, Big D. Hopefully you're having a good day, Big D. I got things have changed, as you guys know, on the screen for people's names. Prayers for Sam's Mary, says Courtney. Bo, James Allen will get well soon. Yes, indeed. Hoogadoo. Hope you're feeling better. James Allen, grit wins. Yes, it does. Have some delicious Mountain Dew. That's what I always recommend. Although, come to your own devices on that. Praying, Mary, Jimmy, praying for you, sir. Stay healthy and get goodwill. 100%. Ashley, are you in Dearborn? I am not in Dearborn. I'm in, at least if you're asking me or you're asking James Allen. I don't know where James Allen lives. Let's see, Henry Moore, being kicked out of the chat for the umpteenth time this morning. Oh, well, I wonder why you're being kicked out, Henry. You shouldn't be. I'm not kicking you out, I can tell you that. Big D, Brock Wright ain't no joke, y'all. It stinks we have lost LaPorta, but Brock will step in. Feel it in my bones. I like the way your bones are foretelling the future. Shelby Steve, let's Mountain do this! Exclamation point. Woo! Back at you. Brandy Coffee is laughing. Let's see. The Rebel, Daniel Damas, exclamation point. Yeah, hey, you got to love it when Daniel Damas makes a show, right? Gary, Sam will be back. He's a trooper. Just needs the time. Don't rush a back injury. The players know when he's right. Yeah, I agree. The training staff, I think they're going to be very, very cautious with this. Brandy, go Lions, exclamation point, back at you. Queen Mary, James, I wasn't looking at your picture, but much love, brother. 100%. Rebel, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. Hey, more, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast, exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo, huggadoo. Henry, glad you finally got in. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yodi lives. Our bus driver, Brent. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Hit that thumbs up button and woo, and good to you. Douglas, Daniel Damas, 100%. Let's see, Marcus Montgomery will start the game at running back. Might be. The Rebel, bold predictions indeed. Ziggy and friends, good morning, Captain Dan and Duke Crew All-Stars. Always a pleasure to see you. Actually, what's the injury, LaPorta? The Lions themselves haven't been specific. What I've been told is that he had the slightly displaced vertebrae that became cracked or broken in his back, and then some damage to a disc in his back. Dan, you're the only show I watch because this is the only one that the nail is what it's going to be true. The rest are just clickbait. They don't even talk about. I can't speak for everybody. I know there's some great YouTube people out there, great reporters. I just try to have fun with it. Hopefully you guys have fun with it. And yeah, I enjoy talking about the Lions. Hopefully you guys do too. But thank you for the kind words. Thank you very much, Tom Peters. Mary Smith, Ashley Beck, Robert. Let's see. It is time to win. Let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Let's see. Nick. Good morning, everyone. And Daniel Damas, exclamation point. Sorry I missed the show. Lots going on. It happens, my friend. I missed the Duke Crew. We miss you too. Hoogadoo. I'm getting concerned about Johnny L. I haven't seen him here all week. Has he not been here all week? I don't know. I guess that's a phenomenal point. Mark, I like how Daniel Damas imitates Coach Dan when giving forecasts. There you go. Let's see. Ziggy and friends. That's bad news about Sam LaPorta. It is, man, but let's just be thankful he's going to be fully recover. The Rebel, Sam LaPorta is great and will be missed. Exclamation point. However, the Lions will be fine. Broski Bear. Is that Daniel Damas guy mentally stable? That's a fair question. Mary Smith, we got to the Lions Talk Live, please. I'm missing brothers. Yes, I don't know about it. I don't know if anybody knows a way to contact and find out. So again, friends, I'll be at the game Sunday. Go Lions, one pride. We'll get straight and Sunday against the Giants. Let's get all straight against the Lions on Sunday. That would be phenomenal. Let's see, Nick. Not sure why Cynthia changed to Nick. Yeah, that I can't help you. Bo, is Coach voice anything like drill instructor voice? Very much. Very similar. John, what do you got? Good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Go Detroit. Woo! Back at you. Let's see. Rich Lapre, as I've been saying, it's time to put Meeks in. I think you're going to see him. You didn't see him last week. Mostly special teams, so I get that. But I think his role will evolve. Kerry, I think Daniel Damas is related to Five Fingers Freddy. He's always talking with his hands. I'll go with that, man. Five Fingers Freddy. Are you talking about from MTV days? Ziggy and friends, I agree with the channel down today. He's right out of the money. I believe Crazy Legs will get 12 yards, though. All right, we'll go with 12 yards. Broski Bear, Dan, let me see your war face. You're seeing it right now, my friend. Hoogadoo Broski, he puts the S in stable. Ooh, there you go. I'll have to use that one. Let's see, Ziggy and friends, that's good to know about the D. Yeah, the D's been playing real well. Mary Smith, Karen, there you go. Let's see, Michael, you got the Grip Morning, Coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, go Lions. Woo, back at you. Let's see, Big D, Lapre, or the Great White Hype Tesla. We'll find out. Let's see, Lauren Lyons, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, go Lions. Woo! Jason Berry, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. We still remain the team of destiny no matter what. I like the way you're foretelling. Mark, Lions 28, Giants 10. I'll take that. Ziggy and friends, I'm looking forward to Tesla having a bigger games the next couple weeks. I think it's quite a big possibility. Michigan Sports Huddle, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan, Duke Crew. Wonderful to have you, my friend, as always. Let's see, Cynthia. Good morning, Queen Mary, Henry, James, Hoogadoo, Mr. Ashley, and L. James. GSS, greetings and salutations, Coach Dan, Duke Crew, and, of course, the great, mythical, the mesmerizing Daniel Damas. Yes, thank you, Daniel Damas, for joining the show today. Hoogadoo. Morning, Lauren. Rich Lapre, I agree. Matt, Queen Mary, good morning, Queen. Let's see, Bo Booth, Ali makes sense as a big end, just as Coach pointed out in the preseason. It happens, man. Sometimes you get something right, sometimes you don't. But based on how the Lions schematically try to do things, it at least made sense to me. Lauren Hogadoo, good morning, sir. I'll go with that. Broski Bear, I think that Shepard wants his best players on the field together as much as possible, especially on the defensive line. So, here it is. There it is indeed. And yes, I think you're spot on with that, Broski. Sir, said Lauren. I got where you're going with that. At least took me a second. Scott Mack, what do you got? Reader is gone after this year, I believe. Yeah, there'll be a big thing in the offseason. Do they resign him or not? I don't know. Kerry, agree. Bo, the best coaches put the best players in a position to win. That's part of coaching, in my opinion, at least. The Rebel, I like Dorsey returning, but I thought Lovett would help out with returns. They may end up using him. At least they just haven't, as of yet, that much. Hookadoo, Cynthia, good morning, young lady. I concur. Henry Moore, good morning, Nick. Let's see. Henry Moore, good morning, Broski. The Rebel, come on, Duke Crew, smash all the buttons! Exclamation point. Thanks for that, Cynthia. Thank you, Hookadoo and Henry. Morning, Henry, says Henry. Let's see. Morning, Cynthia, says Henry. Jesus Christ King, 1976. I don't trust the offense line. I get that. I just am going to think they're going to get better and better. I love the flexibility of our defense, says the Rebel. I concur. Lauren, do we get any interceptions today? Maybe tomorrow. I don't think they will today, though. But if they get them today, man, they are really ahead of the curve. The Rebel defense is going to get to the test, the offensive line, and Goff. It's a copycat league. Yeah, everybody's going to try to mirror mimic what other teams did to have success. Once the playbook became revealed against Lions, you see more and more teams are trying to replicate it. Cynthia, wouldn't Goff having wheels while passing help the deflection problems? Maybe not. Then again, I mean, who knows, man? I know we all said, well, if we had a mobile quarterback, we want to get sacked that much, and then look at Josh Allen getting sacked 8 times last week. Remember, Lamar Jackson got sacked 7 times against us. Miles Marker, reading salutations all. Back at you. Lauren, Miles Marker, good morning. Queen Mary, I think if Goff read the whole line, not just his target, it might help. I know he has limited time. Correct with all of the above. Miles Marker is smiling. Kerry, I've seen Lovett on 1 return this season and 2 catches this preseason. That's it. All I can think is that they're trying to bulk his weight up a bit. Yeah, that could be, for sure. Good morning, Miles Marker, the man of grit built. There you go. Let's see, Cynthia, I hope St. Brown's hand is healed. It's probably healing slowly for sure. Let's see. Obama Stan, or let's Brad Cook. Let's see if he can cook. Miles Marker, Hookadoo, and Lauren Van Esch smiling at you. Kurt Steele, what up, Duke Crew? Exclamation point. We just finished recording the Boss Up Ball game, Boss Up Ball Out pregame show. Tune in at 8 a.m. We will do just that. Gary, I don't think they'll let Reader go. He's double teamed every play. He is, man. He's a big force. He had a great last season, and I like what he's done this season. Ludo, what do you got? Do Lions receivers even know how to do scramble drills with Goff at quarterback? Probably don't practice it a whole lot, I would think, but one never knows, right? Henry Moore, good morning. Miles Marker, Grumble, what up, dude crew? What's up? How you doing today? Henry Moore, good morning, Professor Steele. Miles Marker, good morning, Henry. Laughing out loud. I was 6 years old. Lauren, Kurt Steele, I hear Boss Up, Ball Out is a good one today. I think it probably is a good one today. Tom, what do you got? Gotta trust Hank to make the offensive line adjustments and right the ship. I think he will, slowly but surely. Kurt Steele, Lauren Van Esch, it is! Exclamation point. Amy Spray, what do you got? Good morning to our fabulous Lions investigative coach Dan and ultra great Duke crew! Exclamation point. Can't wait for kickoff. Have a great one, everyone. Have a great day yourself. And thanks, Amy, as always. Kurt Steele, the Lions wide receivers are usually open. That's why. Mary, good morning, Professor Steele. We will be there. I gotta believe we will be. Lauren, it's the offensive line, guys, that needs to be addressed this offseason. I'm going to guess at least I'm going to assume they're going to. Rosemary, it could mean one of several things. Lions receivers are great at getting separation. Goff only throws the ball when they are wide open. There is a league-wide conspiracy against Lions. Could be all the above, right? Kim, a one-off stat can be explained, but collectively, the odd-out stat is telling. Officials the officials may or don't make calls to impact games. Yeah, and I can't think of another team in the league. Maybe there's somebody else in the league that's only had one pass interference called in, let's see, if you go all of last year's games, this year's games, what's that, 24, 25 games? That's something. Pats, what do you got? 5 topics would be way too long. Geez, sorry about that, man. Sometimes they run on a little long. Let's see, Douglas Brown. I like to see the pass blocking grades in games we've won or versus losses. That'd be something. Yeah, that might not be a bad breakdown. What can we do? It's your last one, broski. Lord Van Esch, Pats, it happens when you start diving into topics. Sometimes you ramble trying to get a point across. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes it's shorter. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. Mary, my opinion, I think Brock Wright will be good. He's ready to step up. I like the way you're thinking. Grumpy, what do you got? The Lions need a H-back plus a running back. Might be how they go. Mark, Goff will have 3 touchdown passes. I like the way you're foretelling. Robert Stevens, did the NFL fine or do anything for Philly 99 ending Sam LaPorta's career? MCDC did hint that Sam's career could be over. I think he said that he'd be totally fine. And now remember, LaPorta didn't play against Philly. He played against Washington. But yeah, I think he said he's expected to have a full recovery. But when you're messing with the back, nothing's ever 100% for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to power through since we got like 5 minutes left. Try to find people who haven't been on as much. Miles Marger, I'd like that, Mark. There you go. Yoda lives. They need to run 4 wide receiver sets, formations. You can mix up with the Gibbs in the backfield so they can motion him in the running back spot. Yeah, we're thinking alike there. Pat, what do you got? Detroit will be back in first place by Sunday evening and have a straight hold on first place by Thursday night. I like the way you are foretelling the future. Who can do? If not more, Mark, there you go. Broski Bear. Who can do? Let's go with that. Why do you think that is? We'll find out, my friend. Sanders, kick field goals. Imagine the pressure Goff must feel. TD or Boss Campbell needs to smarten up. We'll see if they do. The 302 kid. Good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. I think we may need to revisit the strength and nutritional coaches. Too many injuries. We do seem to have some, don't we? Let's see. Looking for people who haven't been on as much. Queen Mary. If they use St. Brown or JMO for a spy and Goff knows the right one to get the ball to, that would be nice. Let's see if they do that. Pat, every team is injured. It's week 11. Might just need to visit every team's nutritional coaches then. Yeah, might be. Mark, Goff will dominate. I like the way you're foretelling. Kurt Steele says, hit the like button. Hit all the buttons if you would, please. That would be great. Kings, what do you got? Morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Back at you, Kim. Play to our strengths and have a plan to mitigate opponent's strengths. I like the way you're thinking. That's to me, that's what I would do. Let's see. The Rebel, LaPorta being out gives Tesla, love it, and makes a chance to show what they've got. Exclamation point. Get more comfortable with the offense. Indeed. Dre Day, sounds like Coach wants St. Brown to sit out in his trips formation. No, I want him opposite. I want trips one side, St. Brown isolated one side. Maybe I should have said that earlier. Sorry, I probably should have pointed out. That's my bad. All right, looking for people I haven't been on as much. Gummy, what do you got? Wish Lions could find a fringe NBA player with hands for tight end like Antonio Gates. Yeah, Antonio Gates, man, he made quite the leap into it. Let's see. Other people haven't been on as much. Let's go with Riley O'Brien, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you, 100%. Pierce, I've been saying all week we need to win at least 3 in a row to keep and get pace back. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. If we don't, there will be questions to be had, and hey, I can already see how those weeks are going to go. The Rebel, MCDC is going to need to reward the offense and take some field goals. We'll find out. Gary, the Rebel, I couldn't agree with you more on that. Let St. Brown get healthy. That's why you have all the other players. Maybe. Dennis, good morning, Dan and Duku. Lions back on track this week. They will get the line together. I like the way you're thinking. Other people haven't been on as much. Pierce, I would shut LaPorta down. Yeah, right now he's down, and I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. So give him a nice long time to rest up. Let's see. Bo, corny dogs are great for the winter. Exclamation point. I'll take that. Hookadoo. Pat, never too early. There you go. Pat, never too early for Conies. There you go. Jalen Reeves, Maven, former captain. Yeah, he signed with the Bears. Laura Vanesh, I would keep LaPorta out for the season. Don't mess with the back. You can't retread a tire. No, you cannot. Cynthia, Pats, it's never too early to eat a coney dog. There you go. Phil, bed head coach. Yeah, it might be a case of that for sure. Mark, good morning. Go Lions. Get the roar back. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Dre Day. St. Brown is fine. He said there is no problems. So why handicap him? It's just a number one receiver better than Jefferson and Chase. He had a bad game and will be fine. I agree with that. Moonscar Blade, well, at least with new usernames, no one can be fake. Hey, maybe that's why they're doing it. I don't know. I don't know why they did it. Let's see, Phil, our Mr. Steele, agree, Mr. Steele. Let's see, other people haven't been on. We're in the overtime here. Cynthia, Dre Day, thanks for the update on St. Brown. I concur. David, today is my 62nd birthday. My wish is to win all remaining games. Hey, just for your birthday, and I like your birthday wish, by the way. Let's give you a 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, my friend. The Rebel, this has been the year of the defense around the NFL. It really has been, hasn't it? Phil, Nick, Ham, radio call signal, KD Buds 73, could be. Mary Smith, happy birthday, David. Looking for people having on. Jen, what about Brock Wright? He has proven himself too. He has, man. I do think they're going to use him without a shadow of a doubt. Riley O'Brien, Lauren Vanesh, great choice. There you go. Paperback fan, greatest salutations, Dooku. We got this week. Yes, we do. Ziggy and friends, I think Goff is going to bounce back and have a great game Sunday against the Giants. I like the way you are thinking, my friend. Don Berg, all four NFC North teams play at 1 o'clock our Sunday. 1 o'clock hour. Sunday by 4 p.m. We'll know a lot more. Yeah, we'll know a lot more tomorrow for sure. Mike, what do you got? Emo hairstylist. There we go. Hey, it just is what it is, man. Sometimes you don't have time to always get your hair fully right. Miles Marker, hope you're doing better. James, yeah, 100%. James, hope you heal up, my friend. Don Bird, Detroit, 36, Giants, 16. Pierce Sargent, Don, if the Bears just lose, it will be back to first, and we'll find out if they get back to first. Lauren Lions dominate the Giants, exclamation point, go Lions, one pride. Woo! Back at you. Lauren, where's JDC been? We haven't seen him, I think, since Monday, so hopefully he's okay. Phil, been enjoying Jen's shorts and been using her stretching techniques. She does a great job with that stuff, doesn't she? Bo, I just saw JDC on Boss Up Ball Out. Hey, there you go. Hopefully he's doing okay, man. Hopefully he returns, man. I hope I didn't do something to upset him. But Don Burr, LaPorta is now out for his career, according to the Bears fan page. Go figure. It happens, man. See, and friends, I've been a diehard Lions fan. You are a diehard Lions fan. Who knew LaPorta isn't done for his career? No, I don't think so either. I say Madly, good morning, Coach Dan and Dooku. Have a nice weekend. Good luck. Go Lions. Back at you. David, thank you for the happy birthdays. Anytime, my friend. And thank you. Thanks to the Dooku. Living on Tesla time. Could be. Phil, we'll find out. All right, guys, just a couple more, and then I really got to roll. Lauren, I didn't realize I typed today, laughing out loud, too much coffee this morning. It happens, man. Let's see. Henry Moore, good afternoon. Hasidim Madly. Phil, is the picket fence a real basketball play? Hoosiers, it was back in the day. I mean, some people do use versions of it still. It's not really in my playbook. We're too wide open to run and shoot, but that's just how I coach everything. All right, Pierce, Don, I believe you are right, Pierce, and they have the Vikings right. They do. Gary, agreed. Mr. Burr, a sign of respect. There you go. If you guys see JDC, you check in. Hopefully, I didn't do anything to upset him. Nice seeing Kurt Steele. There you go. Few more. Looking for people who haven't been on. Kurt Steele, Boss Up, Ball Out, starting now. All right, I need to get you guys over there then. Lauren, happy trail. See you tomorrow. Miles Marker, 6-4, 1 prime worldwide. Michael, see you tomorrow, Coach. Oh, yeah? How about that? Bus driver, Brent, go Lions. Back at you. All right, guys, I'll get out of here and get you over to the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Be a good human being. See you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.